Hi and welcome to Dryft. In this short intro video, we'll just be spending 5 minutes just to get you into using the software, getting familiar with it, and then in future videos we'll go into each section a little bit deeper. So if you go to Dryft with a Y, dryftsoftware.com/sign up, or you can go to our homepage and click on the sign up button. You'll come to this page. You can just simply put in your details. The email and password will be your credentials that you use to log in future. So I'll quickly just fill in the details. And when we're ready, just click the sign up button. Once signed up, we'll be into our main application page. And we get our options down the left hand side. Immediately we're taken into the sales section. Obviously there's nothing in here at the minute because it's a newly set up company, but what we notice is some familiarities across all the different sections, and one of those is that we have the plus button at the top for you to, in this case, add a sale. And the same applies if you're in the customer section. You'd do exactly the same thing. We also have, if you notice, a filter button, which is this panel here, and this essentially allows you to filter based upon the different views that you're in, and you can choose the view that you're looking at in this section up here. So at the minute we're just looking at all transactions as and when we've got some in, and we go to invoices. We get a few more filter options as we go through each view, and the same applies as well to the customer. So for example, with balances, so if we open the filter for this, we can see that we've got a particular filter option that we can use in there as well. And then we can just close a filter by clicking on it again. So let's go into sales, and let's say we want to add a new sale, let's say a quote. So obviously we've just set this system up, we don't have any information in here, but what we've designed Dryft to be is what we call setupless, which effectively means that you don't have to go and set up 101 other different things before you can actually get going and get the system working for you. So here I haven't got any customers in, but all I have to do is to put their basic details in. So let's say I just put a customer name in. Okay, and then I can put their address in as well. Just quickly type this in. I can then give it a shipping address if I need to, or delivery address. I can put in a PO number, for example, and then I can select what type of transaction I want to enter. So at the minute it's just defaulted to invoice, but I can select, let's say you want to put in a quote instead. Okay, now we'll notice here, and this is a one-time thing, whereby it gives me the chance to put the number in for the quote. So again, I haven't set anything up, so it's just giving me the opportunity to say what's the starting number, what's the first quote, and then after this it will automatically number it up from there. So let's say that my first quote number is going to be 500, for example. Okay, and then I can give it the date and also an expiry date, which by default the system is giving it 14 days for the expiry of a quote. Okay, so now I can put the line details in. Now again, I haven't set it with any items at the minute, but I can simply give it the SKU or the stock code or the product code or the part number, whatever you want to call it, into here. So let's say I do KLT. Okay, and I can then just put the description in. Okay, and then I can put in a quantity. Let's say we'll have 5 of those and a price of 5. Okay. Now, what will happen there, the system, when I save it, will recognize that this isn't an item, but we've got a stock code or an SKU, so it'll create the item. So we're just working using setupless effectively here, so we can get going straight away. The VAT codes are set up for us. Now, at the minute, the system is set up for either UK or Republic of Ireland. That should automatically set the right VAT codes up for you depending on where you are at the point of doing it. It'll pick up your location from the browser and we'll pick that up. So if you are in the Republic of Ireland, then you will get your specific VAT rates there as well. Okay, and then what I can do very quickly is I can put a discount in by clicking this. Okay, and let's say I'm going to give, let's say 7%. If it was £7 or euros, I could simply click this, and again it would calculate the discount to that value. What you'll find is that if you are in the Republic of Ireland, that you will see the euros sign automatically. It'll just pick that up for you here. Okay, then I can put in some customer notes. Now again, what this will do, because it recognises I've not set anything up beforehand, whenever I put the notes in, then it will save those as standard notes for a quote. So putting some notes in. Okay, and then we are ready to go. Obviously we can add more lines if we like. So I'm going to save this. Okay, and then when we've saved it, we can then get the options we can preview it on the screen. Okay, and we can also email and print. So go to preview here. We'll notice that we just get the company name because that's all we've set it up with at the minute. So what we can do, if we want to change that, we can simply come into these company options up here, and then you can put in your address, email, etc. to appear on the documents. You can also upload your logo, which will then automatically get put on the documents as well. So we're now back in sales, and if I go to quotes, we'll see we get our new quote on there, and we can see it's given the value of pending. If we want now to turn that into a sales order, it's really simple. We just come up to here, which is the options, and this is everywhere, by the way. You'll get used to this. You don't actually have to click on that. You just mouse over it and you'll get these options, and there's an option there which says to convert into a sales order. So if I click this, I'll get the conversion form, and I will now say that I'm going to convert that into a sales order. We'll leave it the same date, and then we'll click convert. Okay, and then we will convert that, and we can see it's changed the status of the quote to converted. We go to orders, and then we'll see our new sales order. So we go over to the all section here. We'll see that we get both our transactions listed, and because Dryft is a tracking system, a lead to fulfillment tracking system, enables us to look at what the timeline of our transactions are. So if we go over to our little menu and we go to this option, which is to view a timeline, and we click on it, we can see that we get the timeline that's tracking from the quote through to the sales order. What you can do here is as you click through, it highlights the option. Now if you want to view or preview the transaction itself, what we can do is we can double click here on the transaction in the list, and then we get our panel here. We can see it's created the item, and we've got the details on there as well. If we want to actually look at the sales order, all of the details will be similar. We can just click on this, and then we can click through between each one. Okay, and if we want to close that view, we can either double click on here, or we can double click in here as well on the timeline itself. So the timeline is a really key part of being able to track everything through the system. Okay, so if we go into customers now, we'll see that we've got our Richmond Technologies. We didn't get the chance to pop in a phone number or an email because we just created it. If we go in here again to the menu and just click the edit icon, we can then edit all of their details in there as well. Now if we want to see what the activity is for this customer, we can just double click on here, and then we get a list of our transactions. Now this gives you everything, not just the accounting transaction. We get our orders and quotes. Obviously we just wanted to see invoices and payments and the actual accounting side of things, the account side of things. Then we can just untick those two and those will go away. Okay, and again the same thing applies there. If I want to see a preview of any of these, I can just double click on that, and then I can see that there. Now at the minute we've not actually put any transactions in, so we won't get anything in balances as such because we've not recorded an invoice. But if we come back to sales here and we go to the sales order, and this time we're going to go back to the convert next to the sales order. I'm going to convert that into an invoice, and I'm going to convert that. Okay, tells us invoice number 1, and we can close that, and then we can see that we've got this, the sales order is marked as completed, and that the invoice itself is outstanding. So again, we go to customers. Now we've got the balance in here. Again, we can double click in this view as well to see those details. So the main point I want to make, because this 5-minute video has turned into a 10-minute video, is that essentially you can add things by using the plus, you can filter them, you can select different views using these options here. And each section works the same in terms of that when we get a list. So for example, in products, we hover over and then we get the options, in this case to edit or to record a stock adjustment. And the principles are the same throughout the software. So I hope that gives you a quick introduction into using Dryft. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we look forward to hearing what you think about Dryft as you start putting it into action. Please let us know. Feedback and suggestions are going to be really important as we move forward in developing Dryft. What we have at the minute is a core system. We've got a lot more to come soon. But thanks for joining me in this video. I hope to see you again soon.